Howdy, y'all. I'm Justin.
And I'm Kim.
Welcome to Cowboys Like Us, the podcast where we talk about Taylor Swift and her music. Yeehaw. Hello, and welcome back to Cowboys Like Us, the only podcast putting out three episodes in a 72-hour window.
Hell yeah.
And it has put a strain on my marriage.
Well, luckily, we probably won't have anything this back-to-back again.
I certainly hope not.
Yeah.
I hope not.
We have some other little special episodes planned to come out, but nothing that's also going to butt up to the release of an album.
Yeah, it's Taylor's fault, because she could have put out 1989 Taylor's version anytime she wanted, but she put it out this weekend, knowing full well we had our Halloween special coming out.
And we had to put out a regular episode because it's Monday.
And our regular episode. So, yep, 3. How dare she do it?
Yep. Rude.
Today, we are discussing Hours, a bonus track from Speak Now that Kim remembers fondly.
Yeah.
From her childhood.
It was one of my faves.
Is it still? We will find out.
To be determined.
But first, got some poll results. Cowboy Like Me got an 8.
You guys are the worst.
Yep, Kim can suck it.
I literally went on all of our social media platforms and voted, which sometimes I don't do.
Just trying to pull it down?
Just trying to pull it down. I told Madeline while I was doing it, too. I was like,
fun.
I'm going to go pull it down.
And you only got to pull it down to an 8.
I know, that's why you all suck.
Without your interference, it may have been a 10.
Well, then I'm glad I put in what I put in.
We also have Stay, which got a 6. It's pretty much the lowest that we've got so far.
Yeah, I feel like everybody kind of has a similar vibe about that song.
Yeah, meh to bad, I think, is where people fall on it.
You just don't think it holds up anymore.
No, I don't think so either. Been a long time. We've all grown and changed. You have any other pod stuff you want to chat about before we get into the news? All right, let's do it then. News from around the Taylorverse. 1989 Taylor's version is here.
It's rocked my world.
Mine as well. We talked about that in great length on our 1989 Taylor's version reaction bonus episode, which is up and available to stream right now. Look in your feed, it's in there.
Yep.
But we do need to talk about one bad bit of business that came along with 1989 TV on what was meant to be a wonderful day for every Swiftie. Ended up not being that way because of the prologue. Taylor released an essay about 1989 and the TV that she called the prologue, and it sent the fandom into hysterics and infighting.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily because of a passage in which Taylor talked about how she got tired of the media slut-shaming her and gossiping about, oh, she was with this guy, so she must be dating him, etc., etc. And then she said, quote, "It became clear to me that for me there was no such thing as casual dating or even having a male friend who you platonically hang out with. If I was seen with him, it was assumed I was sleeping with him. And so, I swore off hanging out with guys, dating, flirting, or anything that could be weaponized against me by a culture that claimed to believe in liberating women but consistently treated me with the harsh moral codes of the Victorian era. Being a consummate optimist, I assumed I could fix this if I simply changed my behavior. I swore off dating, and I decided to focus only on myself, my music, my growth, and my female friendships. If I only hung out with my female friends, people couldn't sensationalize or sexualize that, right? I would learn later on that people could and people would. Those are the paragraphs that lit the powder keg that has been building tension for years between so-called gaylers and so-called headlers. People who think Taylor is secretly gay versus people who think there's no way she is, and also you gays with your perversions trying to put it on Taylor. How dare you? Kimberly, how did you read the prologue?
I read it the way that it was meant to be interpreted.
Oh, do tell.
I think that if you read even just this passage that we read, but if you read the whole thing and you came out of it thinking Taylor Swift confirmed that she's gay, or Taylor Swift confirmed that she's straight, you only read what you wanted to read. And you did not take what she said as what she said. You didn't read it. You heard what you wanted to hear, and then you stopped reading. Because this very much says, I wanted everyone to stop speculating on my dating life so that I could have friends, I could live a normal life. And so I tried to do that, and then you still speculated on it. So all of the news sources, all of the people who are sharing information that says Taylor shut down the gaylers and said that she was straight, or, Taylor finally speaks out on her sexuality or whatever. No, you didn't read it. You didn't process what she was saying at all. She didn't say she was straight. She didn't say she was gay. She said none of the above. She said, why is everybody so worried about my sexuality?
Indeed. I think she is saying, for me as a woman in society, there's no winning, which I think is a struggle that a lot of women have, particularly if Taylor is a bisexual woman, which I think is possible.
Yeah.
I do also hold the possibility that she could be a heterosexual woman as well. But if she were to be bisexual, I think this paragraph could definitely speak to that frustration, because as a society we assume if people are attracted to a certain gender, that must mean that they want to bone every person of that gender. They can't be platonic friends with someone they might theoretically be attracted to.
Yep.
And so where does that leave bisexual and pansexual people?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're theoretically possibly attracted to anyone.
Right.
So they're just constantly fucking. They're running from orgy to orgy. They have to keep sneakers in their car because they gotta run to the next one.
Yeah. Incorrect. Very much incorrect. Yeah. I think people just lost their minds because she gave, I don't know, just like a sliver of a mention to her dating someone, anyone. And then they took it and ran with it, and that is literally what she's asking everyone not to do.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I did see that I think is worth mentioning is that some of the gaylers felt a little betrayed because, like you say, Taylor's message is basically, don't gossip about me and my dating life. Just leave it, just be in it for the music, man, right? But some gaylers have pointed out, isn't that like half her brand? Is like her dating life? Doesn't she talk about it in her songs? Doesn't she invite speculation and then play the victim when people do what she wants? Is that a fair critique, you think?
I see where they're coming from, but I don't think she's worried about the people like us who are just like, oh my god, is she dating Travis Kelce? And then they do a hard send on their relationship, and we're like, oh hell yeah, she's dating Travis Kelce, I don't think she's worried about people like us. I think she is talking about, like, more the media, but, like, the media is fueled by these far left, far right Swifties.
Right.
Their rage and their passion about this one particular thing. And she's like, I feel like she's coming at it with, you can speculate on who I'm dating without it being all that we talk about. I think there's something about making every single conversation about who she's dating and not about her music. Because I feel like we come on here and we go, oh my God, is she dating Travis Kelce? And then we go on to talk about a song.
Right.
And we're more interested in what is she doing musically? What is she doing to promote her music? What is she doing with like music videos or whatever else? We're not focusing on whose genitals she may be interacting with. You know?
Right. Yeah.
That's not the main focus. I think if this podcast was called Who is Taylor Swift Sleeping With, we would be part of the problem.
Right.
And there are definitely people out there, like, I do feel like the NFL maybe are taking it a little too far.
Yeah.
And obviously in this prologue, she's talking about back in the day. It's not necessarily speaking about what's happening right now. I saw a lot of people trying to say this prologue is proof that she and Travis Kelce aren't dating and that they're just friends.
Which is a crazy read.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If this prologue had come out, like right after that first Chiefs game that she went to, I could be like, maybe she is trying to apply what she went through back in 2014 versus what she's going through now, trying to compare the two. But they are definitely dating. Like, they have fully, like I said, they've gone full out on the relationship front.
Yes.
So I don't think you can apply this to what's happening right now based off of like what she exactly said. I think what she said is a reflection of where she was at the time. It definitely still happens to her now, but I think she doesn't try to, like you said, as a woman, she can't win.
Right.
I don't think she tries to win anymore.
Okay.
I think when she wrote 1989 to begin with, she was at that age where she was trying to determine, if I do this and I can't win, then do the opposite and then you will win.
Right.
And then she learned the lesson of, because you are who you are and you are a woman, it's a lose, 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 lose situation.
Yes. The game is rigged.
Yeah.
And it takes a while to learn that. I just want to say, I think that I agree with you absolutely, that nowhere in the prologue does she say, stop spreading gay rumors about me because I am a heterosexual woman.
Exactly.
Which is what Hetlers have read.
Mm-hmm.
Nor does it say, and no one's claiming it does, that she is LGBT. It doesn't address her sexuality at all.
Yeah.
At all. That's what you said. That is what is true. What I think I want to add is that some of the blatantly mask-off homophobic comments that the Hetlers have been coming out with the past couple days is unacceptable. Like,
Yeah.
I am a heterosexual Taylor Swift fan who allows for the possibility that she might also be a heterosexual person, but I don't feel the need to call people homophobic slurs and
Yeah.
insult them for thinking she might not be heterosexual. That's crazy.
I feel like if you are, at your core, the purest Swiftie, and I'm not trying to say that in like you are better than everyone, but like your values align with the values that Taylor puts out there, and you feel like her music speaks to you, and that's why you're a fan. It shouldn't matter if she is straight, if she is gay, whatever flavor of gay she may be. It's none of our business.
Right.
Who she wants to date. Just when there's a confirmed relationship, we can get excited about it. If it excites you, you can get mad about it if you get mad about it. But like, in the end, who she dates and how they identify and how she identifies doesn't affect, or it shouldn't affect, you being a fan. And if your entire fanship hinges on whether she's a straight woman or a gay woman, you are in it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
And I think that's the moral of all of this.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's like we've talked about on this podcast before. Parasocial relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
People get way too invested in celebrities, Taylor Swift in this instance, and so their love of her becomes a part of their identity. And for some subset of those people, her sexual orientation is part of it, you know, what they believe it to be. And so when it may not be that, what they thought, they feel like they've been lied to and they've been betrayed. Yeah. And you're doing it wrong, guys.
Exactly.
Like,
That's
you're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Just take things a little bit less personal. Taylor Swift doesn't date Travis Kelce to hurt you, or talk about how she doesn't like being slut-shamed to hurt you. So if you're having an existential crisis over this prologue, you may need to seek professional help.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it. We both do.
Yeah.
You know? Mental health is a bastard. And I'm worried about some of them. Somebody needs to come get some of them, man. It's bad right now.
Yeah.
All right. Is that it for that, or do you have anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay. On to our next news story. Tayvis.
Speaking of.
That's all right. Taylor attended a watch party for the Browns vs. Bengals game at Travis Kelce's home. She was wearing a red Chiefs t-shirt, black skirt, black shoes. Some photos came out of her and former Cleveland Browns quarterback, Mr. Bernie Kosar. The Kelce brothers are from Cleveland Heights, Ohio, a suburb of Cleveland non-Heights. And they were Browns fans growing up. Kosar played for the Browns from 1985 to 1993. So, until Jason was 6 and Travis was 4. Formative years. Taylor then headed to Arrowhead Stadium to watch the Chiefs vs. Chargers game. She was in a box with Brittany Mahomes, wife of quarterback Patrick. The two have a secret handshake now, which was caught on camera. Yeah. Can you describe that for the people? What did it look like?
I don't know if I can. Well, they sort of did like a hand slapping thing, and then a hip bump. That was pretty much it.
Yep. And there was also a chest bump at one point.
Yeah.
I haven't actually seen the whole thing. I heard about it.
Yeah. Well, they just look like they're having a good time.
Yeah. That's the mainest thing.
Yeah.
Cheering on their partners and having a good time. At one point in the game, Travis took a pretty good lick, and Taylor was visibly shaken and concerned, put her hand up to her mouth, seemed to be quivering with anxiety. And some social media folks claim it's her acting, you know, because they're still on the PR wagon. And I'll tell you right now, I saw Cats, the film in theaters. She doesn't have them chops to do that, okay? Ham-fisted, is that a phrase you've heard?
Mm-hmm.
It describes Taylor's acting. She's bad at it, you guys.
Oh, Lord. So I didn't feel like, and I am one of the minority, I didn't feel like it read like she was actually concerned about him.
Oh.
I don't think she was acting. That's not what I'm saying. But based off of the play that was happening, Brittany Mahomes' reaction, and the little bit that I know about football, it was more that she was jumping up to get excited because it looked like he was going to catch the ball and be able to run and all of that jazz. Because that's what Brittany did too. She started to cheer, and then he got tackled. And then Taylor put her hands over her mouth, and Brittany went like, oh shit, or damn it, or something like that, right? Because he got tackled, and he couldn't run with the ball. I will give it to you that when she stands up, she does like a little like shiver for shake. I do think that she's like all in, and she gets really excited when he gets to do stuff on the field because she loves him. But people are like, she was so terrified for him because he got tackled. Football players get tackled all the time.
It's true.
It's part of the job.
Occupational hazard.
She's not new to football.
No.
So, like, I feel like she was getting ready to cheer him on, and then he got tackled. And she was like, ooh, oh shit.
Well, to me personally, who has seen it a couple times, it read concern to me. But
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get it. I get how it could look concerned. But just based on everything else that was going on, I just feel like she was just participating in reaction. You know?
The world may never know for sure.
Exactly.
But she had some emotion. Anyway, that much we can't deny.
She's for sure hard. She's down hard.
She's down bad, yeah.
There we go. I'm not good at phrases.
She's got it.
She's got it bad.
Got it bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Though he did not make a big play on that particular play, he did have a big game, Travis Kelce. Caught 12 passes for 179 yards and a touchdown, dominating, according to a graphic.
This graphic was everything.
Which was unfortunately titled, "You Belong with T.E. tight end, Travis's position. Travis's yards per game more than double in games that Taylor attends," prompting head coach and human walrus Andy Reid to say in the post-game press conference, Taylor can stay around all she wants.
And Jason and Travis talked about this graphic and Andy Reid's response to it on their podcast.
New Heights.
Yes, and Travis just sort of laughed the entire time. He said something to the tune of like, "That's very interesting to see, you know, there's something there, you know, like,
yeah,
maybe she's his lucky charm kind of thing."
The numbers don't lie.
And my fantasy team really needs Taylor not to show up to Travis's next game, so.
That's right. Her opponent has Mr. Travis Kelce, and if he had a sort of middling game, that would be better.
My opponent is also my boss, so I am very eager to beat him.
Yep, gotta stick it to the man, for sure.
And he knows that. That I'm eager to beat him.
Yes, indeed. Taylor and Travis left the game together, holding hands again, the interlocked finger hand hold.
Mm-hmm.
They then drove off in Travis's Rolls Royce, went back to his house, where they were soon joined by about 20 people for an after party. A local barbecue food truck parked in the driveway so the guests could get food, which I just want to say, real quick, is a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
If you're having a party and you're worried about, the food situation, why not contact a local food truck and see if they'll pull up?
Yeah.
It's guaranteed money for them because got a crowd of people who want food, and you don't have to worry about it after that. So, works out for everybody.
Food trucks are great.
Yep. Kansas City barbecue is not, though. You heard it here first. Vinegar based on this podcast.
Hell yeah.
A picture from the party has come out with Taylor kissing Travis on the cheek while he smiles at the camera like the cat who caught the canary.
Uh-huh.
And McCole Hardman, wide receiver for the Chiefs, and his partner are also in the photo.
I'm so glad you knew that because I did not know who that was. I've never seen that tall of a man blush so hard.
Yeah, he was enjoying it.
Yeah.
He's enjoying it. Whatever this thing is, he's enjoying it.
Yeah, he's having a great time.
And Taylor seems to be too, so...
As long as they're both having fun, I don't give a shit what the label is.
Yep, they're in their 30s. They're having fun.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Yeah. In comparison, her last, rumored relationship with Mr. Matty Healy.
Heard of him.
I did not agree with one bit. And I feel like I was very vocal about that all year. I didn't agree with it. But if Taylor was having fun, that's all that matters.
Indeed. And it worked itself out in the end.
Exactly. It worked out the way I wanted it to.
And we all moved on with our lives.
But I don't feel like I played a single part in that working out the way I wanted it to.
Nope. We probably won't play much of a part in making this one go how we want either.
No.
I
want them to live happily ever after, forever and ever and ever. But, I don't think that's going to... I mean, I really don't know if that's going to happen, but...
You never do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Over the course of our lives, we have many relationships. Only one can go the distance. So, it's a numbers game.
Yep.
You just get out there, and you do your best, and you hope that it works out.
Yeah. But I will say, it's very obvious that they're both having fun. So until they're not having fun, I hope it continues.
That's right. We did hear from some other folks about Taylor this week. Mr. Ed Kelsey father of Jason and Travis, described her as, quote, a very, very sweet, very charming, down-to-earth young woman, and very genuine. She's very smart. I mean, very. That comes through right away. We're sitting in the suite. She gets up, and in the front room, she gets up to go get a drink or something, and she starts picking up empty bottles, cans, plates that are scattered around, because in the suites, everybody gets stuff and you empty it down wherever you can. And I'm just thinking, I don't think she got the diva memo. She didn't get the spoiled musician. She doesn't know how to pull that off. And that's really, to me, said a whole lot.
I think she knows how to pull it off, and I think she chooses not to. And that's what makes her an amazing person.
Yep, she's just a genuine human being.
Also, we know that Taylor loves to host a party. And if you know anything about people who host parties, they're also very aware of the cleanup process. So I feel like she goes to anyone's party and just starts cleaning. Like, if she's not there and she doesn't have something to do, she's like, oh, I can clean up people's trash. Like,
yeah, I think that's definitely something you do.
Yeah.
So yeah, you and Taylor are both type A personalities.
Yeah, you look for what you can add to the situation. And if that's, just taking a little bit of trash off the people who work the box, then I can do that.
Yep, to paraphrase Mr. John F. Kennedy, ask not what this party can do for you, ask what you can do for this party.
Exactly. We love a chance to quote JFK.
Yep, this is the first time. Won't be the last, probably. Although it might, because that's like the only one I can do off the top. Taylor has another fan in the form of Randy Mahomes, mother of Beatrice, mother-in-law of Brittany. She posted a pic on Instagram this week of Taylor with her arm around Patrick's half-sister Mia and said, quote, I love how sweet Taylor was to my girl. So that's nice.
Yeah. Seems to be getting along with all of the Mahomes.
Indeed. Just impressing everyone in Kansas City with her realness and genuine love of people and everything. Down-to-earthness, humbleness. But there are some people out there who are haters and enemies of love. And the first I want to talk about is Miss Kelly Clarkson, the original American Idol herself. She said on her talk show that the Tayvis coverage is, quote, literally taking over the NFL for people that like watching sports now. It's like you're watching Housewives while you're watching. And I just want to say that to me, that is an old-ass boomer take that we as a society no longer have room for.
Sure.
Because if you're actually listening to football broadcast for the analysis of the talking heads, it's because you don't know ball. Because I forgot about this. Was going to do a bit where I was going to look up like some all-time worst announcer quotes so I could read it and be like, yeah, this is what Kelly Clarkson's missing.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that. But yeah.
That's okay.
If you watch football this weekend, you'll hear some dumbass takes. What you won't hear is hard-hitting analysis of how to win football games, which Kelly seems to think is a thing. She should know better.
No, when the Chiefs played the Broncos, that's where Mr. Unlimited is now, right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited.
When they played the Broncos, I was watching the game with Madeline. We were waiting on Taylor to be there. As soon as they showed her, we started cheering. It was a whole thing. But the intro to the game, and I was talking to my brother about this the other day, and he told me who it was, and now I cannot remember who it was. But anyway, one of the announcers was rambling about the city of Kansas City, Arrowhead Stadium. It was like they said, say something, we need filler, we're not ready to cut inside the stadium yet.
Right.
I literally wanted to slam my head against the wall listening to this man talk.
Yeah, I am a football fan. I watch football games every weekend, pretty much. And it's like you say. It's just like you say. they have to fill time.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of downtime in football between plays and, different things, timeouts, etc. And they can't have dead air.
Yeah.
Because unlike this podcast, they can't cut the dead air out and make it seem like we're just flowing extemporaneously.
Yeah.
Right? So they have to hire people who can talk for 3 hours about nothing. And it's a unique skill, but it does not make for hard-hitting analysis.
It's really funny that, like, most of them are, like, ex-football players. Too.
Right.
Retired football players. They go on to literally just sit and talk about nothing.
Yeah. They do. They do. If you out there are listening, or if you're going to be watching football soon, why not just put the TV on mute and put on 1989 Taylor's version?
Well, that sounds like my dream.
Ain't that the best? That's what I do. I put on music and I listen in my headphones.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm watching football because announcers ain't it.
I wish there was an option to watch football, because I like hearing, like, the band and the crowd cheer and stuff. That helps me get into it. So I wish there was an option to turn off the commentators.
Me too. Me too. ESPN, do it, you coward.
Yeah.
Yep. Make it happen.
So maybe just put your TV on mute and then pull up, like, football stadium cheer sounds. That's what I'll do, and then play 1989 on top of it.
Yeah. Or like a playlist of marching band songs.
Yeah. Ooh, 1989 Taylor's version, but done in marching band style.
Ooh. That could be cool. That could be cool.
Madeline, get on that.
Alright. Make it happen. But Kelly...
Oh yeah, we were talking about Kelly Clarkson.
That's right. Kelly Clarkson heard from people like me who don't like her take, and she responded by saying, quote, "Do not fall prey to clickbait, trash reporters twisting the facts again. I did not bash anyone's romance. I am pro-romance. Yay, romance. Did y'all even watch what I actually said on my show? No, because no one watches your show, Kelly. I just said I want to watch football when I tune in to watch football. Seems an appropriate request."
Yeah.
Old woman yells at cloud.
I understand how she's trying to defend her statement. I think it's a little ridiculous. I feel like a lot of people like to jump to being like, the media twisted what I said.
Fake news.
When they don't want to own up with what they said. And Kelly's trying to say that, like, what I definitely implied in my statement is not what I meant. Okay, well then don't imply that, like, when you say it.
Oh no, the consequences of my actions.
Exactly.
People hate that shit. People love to fuck around. They don't like to find out.
Yes. And I know we're going to get on to a couple more people who have had things to say that people have not agreed with and have taken to be... Well, they were specifically about Taylor and Travis because that's what they were asked about. But
right.
I can understand people not wanting football to revolve around Taylor Swift because they see Taylor as already having her fingers in every other pot. And they don't want her finger in their pot. I love the mixture of watching football and Taylor Swift. I love the collision. I do get how not everyone would love that collision. But I do also agree that I think the NFL is strictly using it for their own benefit.
Right.
And maybe leave her alone a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
And Travis, too. He's even said on his podcast, they're taking it a little too far. I think they're doing a little too much.
They definitely could dial it back a little.
Yeah.
That much is for sure.
I'm not saying don't ever talk about her being there, because I love hearing about when she's there. But you don't gotta cut to her every single time he makes a play or looks at a camera or moves an inch, you know?
Yep. The dedicated Taylor Swift cam, sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. It's coming. It's coming. I bet it is. That would be so fun.
That would be hilarious.
Yep. Speaking of those other people with hateful, anti-love opinions, Mr. Rob Gronkowski, former New England Patriots and Tampa Bay Buccaneers tight end, also thinks that Tayvis is a distraction from the feet ball. He said, quote, "It's just a little too much. we want more football. But Gronk, they're not going to give you more football. They're going to give you more nonsense in between the football.
Exactly.
And that is the problem.
Again, I understand where Gronk's coming from, but to say we want more football, how much more football could they possibly give you, Gronk?
Indeed.
There's so much football already. Okay? And I understand. That's like us being like, we want more Taylor. We can never have enough Taylor. But, like, calm down.
Indeed. And you retired after like 15 years, bro. Didn't you have enough football? Isn't that why you retired?
And don't be mean, because Travis has been nothing but nice to you, Gronk.
He looks up to you, bro.
He's talked about how you were one of the greatest, if not the greatest, tight end of all time.
You're who he's trying to be.
Yeah, but most everybody agrees that it's him now, and not you.
Oh, spicy take. But Gronk is not the only football man this week to mention it. Friend of the pod, Mr. Jalen Hurts, who Kimberly knows personally.
I don't know if I would take it that far, but okay.
They've been in a room together.
A couple of times.
Not a stadium, but an actual enclosed, like a dining room.
Well, under a tent. It was under a tent.
One of the big tent-like things.
Mm-hmm. And then, before that, I had a college course with him.
There you go.
But I did not know who he was at the time. And he was big enough on Alabama football that I should have known who he was. And everybody was acting like a lunatic. And then I said to my friend, there's this guy in my class, and I think he's maybe on the football team. And everybody was like freaking out, and I don't really understand. Yeah. And I said, I think his name was like Jalen. And she was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Jalen's in your class? I was like, who is he? And she's like, he's our quarterback, Kim.
That's right. Yep. Former Alabama Crimson Tide quarterback, Mr. Jalen Hurts, current quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, said this week, because he was asked directly what he thought of Tayvis and the coverage, he said, quote, "It's not really my cup of tea. I'm more focused on winning football games. Won't someone focus on the football? Jalen will and has done. Good for him."
No, I'm very glad. He should focus on the football.
He should.
That is his job. He is getting paid a whole lot of money to focus on the football. He should do that.
Professional football man, focused on professional football.
I also feel like unlike Gronk's comment, which is very specifically like, this is too much, we want football, I feel like this was Jalen's way of saying, don't ask me about this. This is not my business. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm here to win football games.
Yes. That is my understanding of who Jalen is as a person. He's kind of a somewhat reserved person publicly in interviews and things. Keeps to himself a bit. All business, that type of thing. So,
yeah. Yes, in the one college class that I took with him, and then the one wedding that I was part of planning that he attended, I can say that is the vibe that I get from him.
Indeed. Speaking of football men and opinions on Taylor, we heard from Mr. O.J. Simpson this week, and I am sorry in advance for having to tell y'all this. But he is the co-host of a YouTube program, which I will not name because I don't want to promote it.
Amazing.
One of the other hosts on the program asked if he'd seen the Taylor Swift-Brittany Mahomes handshake and accompanying chest bump. To which he said, quote, I did. I didn't know who the other girl was, but I thought it was interesting. I was thinking the same thing you was thinking. Their boulders was hitting each other, you know. It was a little bit of a turn on. Thoughts on that, Kimberly?
You know, I prefer not to hear, how do I say this legally, from accused murderers.
Alleged murderers.
Acquitted, but shouldn't have been murderers. And I also don't enjoy that they allow accused and acquitted, but shouldn't have been murderers to have YouTube shows.
Nope. I don't love that either.
So, I think he shouldn't talk about Taylor. He should just keep his mouth shut. But he can't do that. Couldn't even do that when he wrote the book about if I had murdered my wife and her friend.
This is how I did it.
This is how I would have done it. And it's exactly how they were murdered. But whatever. It's not a murder podcast.
No, there's enough of those. I just don't like the word boulders in this context.
Yeah.
I've not heard that before, and
Really?
I've not heard it said.
Bras are referred to sometimes in the olden days as over-the-shoulder boulder holders.
Oh, that's fun. No, I'm not familiar with that terminology, so that's fun.
Yeah.
All right.
I have heard them referred to as boulders, but it's very 80s, 70s, 80s of him.
That was his prime, I guess. Yeah, so makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the less said about that, the better.
Yeah.
Moving on. Taylor Swift is, according to Bloomberg, officially a billionaire by their estimation. With a net worth of over $1 billion with B.
And I think we talked about, or maybe I read it somewhere, but I think we talked about back at the sort of beginning of the podcast, towards the beginning of the Eras Tour, the projections of how much money the Eras Tour was going to make. I think we talked about that people were projecting that she would go
billionaire.
Teeter over the line into billionaire by the end of it.
Yes, I believe you're right. I remember that as well. Bloomberg was polite enough to break down what they believe her various assets to be worth. Her From Lover to Now recordings, they estimate to have a value of about $400 million. If she were to sell that catalog, which she won't, because that's the whole thing.
Yep.
Her ticket sales and merchandising worth about $370 million. Streaming revenue about $120 million, which is impressive.
And that's just going to go up once Eras Tour hits streaming.
Yeah, because they get like 1/10 of a penny per stream, the artists. So it's crazy. It's like a fraction of a cent. $110 million in real estate between her 5 homes that she owns, and $80 million in royalties from her stolen songs, which she still gets paid songwriting credits for.
Right, but how much more money could she have if they were hers?
Well, based on the
that's the point.
based on the fact that the Lover stuff is worth $400.
Yeah.
So 3-4 times more.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more.
That's the whole point of why she's doing this.
Yep. And we are supportive.
Hell yeah.
So, Eras Tour movie continues to rake money in. It has now made over $178 million around the globe, and it held its spot atop the domestic box office with a week 2 gross of $31 million here in the USA. Killers of the Flower Moon was number 2 with $23 million in its debut week.
Never even heard of it.
I believe it stars Mr. Leonardo DiCaprio. It's going to be Oscar bait. It's I think it's a Martin Scorsese film.
I think it's hilarious that Taylor is ahead of that movie if it stars Leo DiCaprio.
Pretty sure it does.
After the entirety of the song The Man.
Saint-Tropez.
Exactly, and the fact that he's referenced, I think that's hilarious.
Got him again.
Alright. Shark Watch.
Yes, Shark Watch. It was a good week this week for Taylor, and what we presume will be the first of several good weeks now that 1989 TV has come out. But this was before that. Billboard Artist 100. Taylor reclaimed her number 1 spot. Billboard Hot 100 Singles. Cruel Summer did it. Finally. Made it to number 1.
I said it couldn't be done.
She did. And fate seemed to agree. But then Taylor said, I'm going to make it number 1.
Yeah,
I will do what it takes, and I will push that bastard up the hill.
Yeah.
And she did.
Good for her.
Up 8 spots this week to number 1. Anti-Hero also took a big leap, up 16 spots to number 25. On the Billboard Top 200 Albums chart, Lover is up 2 to number 8. Midnights is down 2 to number 9. Folklore is up 1 to number 14. Speak Now TV up 1 to 18. 1989 Stolen Version up 1 to 19. Reputation stayed at 21. Red Taylor's Version dropped 1 spot to number 24. Evermore is up 5 to number 26. And Fearless Taylor's Version up 18 spots to number 43, the big riser of the week. Presumably 1989 TV will be there soon.
Hopefully knock the stolen version off.
Hopefully. Hopefully it'll take less time than Speak Now. Remember that?
Yeah.
It was several weeks that it was hanging around.
Yeah.
But we'll see. At this point, we would normally go to the clown corner, but since news has taken a lot of time and we want to have plenty of time to talk about the song of the week, we're just going to skip the clown corner this week and go directly to this week's song.
Woo!
Woo! Which, if you remember from the opening, is Ours. Ours was originally released on Speak Now Deluxe back in December of 2011. It was released as a single, the 6th single from Speak Now, after Mine, Back to December, Mean, The Story of Us, and Sparks Fly. Naturally, it was re-recorded for Speak Now Taylor's version. It was written by Taylor Swift, produced by Taylor Swift and Nathan Chapman in its original form, and the re-recording by Taylor and Christopher Rowe. Chart info: the original version made it to number 13 on the Hot 100, and it was also number 1 on Hot Country Songs. Taylor's version, number 68 on the Hot 100, and number 29 on Hot Country Songs. It earned platinum certification in the United States and gold certification in Australia from all the kangaroos listening to it. What has Taylor said about this song?
Taylor said, quote, "I'm excited about telling the beginnings of stories. Like the story of this song called Ours, where I wrote it about this guy nobody thought I should be with. So I wrote the song specifically just to play it for him. Just to show him, I don't care what anyone says. I don't care that you have tattoos. I don't care that you have a gap between your teeth. I love you for who you are." And that song ended up actually making it on Speak Now and becoming a number 1 song.
Yes, and I just want to say, oh, this song I wrote about this guy who nobody thought I should be with. Damn, girl, that really narrows it down. You have bad taste in men, honey. It's okay. You know, whomst among us.
Well, you definitely used to.
Yeah, hopefully it's better now.
Maybe not so much anymore.
Let's go. Critical reception. Taste of Country called it a folksy little love song with sharply written lyrics, cheesy and delicious. All Access said it's hard to pick a favorite Taylor Swift song after so much success, but Ours will be around and in the running for a long time. Rough Stock called it maybe her best single since White Horse, which is a controversial take because the singles between those two were You Belong With Me, 15, Fearless, Today Was a Fairy Tale, and then all the Speak Now ones we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I don't know what they're getting off on there.
Yeah, You Belong With Me is better, Fearless is better.
Those first 3 that you mentioned definitely did better on the Hot 100.
Yeah.
So I think that in itself says that they're a little bit better.
Well, it's a hot take anyway.
Yeah.
So, credit to them. Arizona Central said that Ours sounds like if Fleetwood Mac had followed Rumors with a country album, which is a weird, out there take and not the weirdest one we're going to get to. Spoilers.
Yeah, I don't agree with that about this song. If you said about the whole album, maybe. I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch, though.
Yeah, I don't know. Because Rumors and Fleetwood Mac generally have country influences.
Yeah.
That are apparent in Rumors, on Rumors.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I feel like Fleetwood Mac making a country record wouldn't be that different than just a Fleetwood Mac.
Probably not. And I also feel like some of her later stuff feels more Fleetwood Mac-esque.
Yeah. A lot of Red
This
reminds
stuff.
me of
Sure. And like
Fleetwood Mac.
on into her more recent stuff, but like not Speak Now necessarily.
Yeah, I don't really get that either. The Guardian said it's not the most striking song that Swift has released.
Okay. Sure.
Seattle Weekly said a mess of mixed metaphors. And NME called it sickly sweet. So,
Okay.
it's got some haters. It's got some haters. What about the fans? Do they like it?
Rob Sheffield
Big boy Rob!
rated it number 28 out of all of Taylor Swift's songs.
237.
That is pretty high. He said, like so many of her songs, Ours sounds like it could be channeling the 16 blue mojo of the Replacements, punk rock bard Paul Westerberg. Melodically, it evokes When It Began, though it feels more like I Will Dare. Especially the best line, which is possibly the best line on this list, and which I sing to myself a mere dozen times a day. That said best line is, "Don't you worry your pretty little mind. People throw rocks at things that shine."
Yeah, so, as I said, Fleetwood Mac was kind of an out there comparison.
Yeah.
But I kind of see where they were going,
Sure.
even though I don't agree. This right here is the most insane bit of rambling I've heard ever. Because as someone who is a fan of the Replacements and Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
no.
No.
Just no. Like,
no.
I Will Dare is a weird little rockabilly song, and yeah, I don't know. They're a punk rock band. Taylor is not a punk rock singer. Her material that comes closest is by no means this song.
Right.
So I just don't hear that at all. But he likes it, so what about Reddit? Do they like it?
r/Taylor Swift ranked it number 20 out of 22 songs on Speak Now Taylor's version, the Survivor game, ahead of only Superman and Innocent.
Damn.
That's wild.
Well, they don't like it. It seems like Rob loves it. They do not like it.
They also don't like the song Innocent, and that song is a heartbreaker.
Yeah, that's kind of a spicy take. We'll get to Innocent one day. But
Yeah, one day.
for now, let's get into the lyrics of ours a bit. Verse number 1. Elevator buttons and morning air. Stranger silence makes me want to take the stairs. If you were here, we'd laugh about their vacant stares. Stairs.
Yep.
But right now, my time is theirs. Seems like there's always someone who disapproves. They'll judge it like they know about me and you. And the verdict comes from those with nothing else to do. The jury's out, but my choice is you. First off, bro, is there anything more awkward than an elevator ride with strangers?
No.
Nope, it's rough. Thank God for cell phones. What the hell did people used to do in elevators when they couldn't pretend to play on their phones?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even like when we go to the doctor for the baby.
Oh,
and we get
yeah.
on the elevator with other people. If I'm in a conversation with you, I feel like I gotta stop talking
Right?
because they're gonna hear our conversation, and that's weird.
Yeah, we all just have to stand there and look at the door and wait for it to open.
Yep.
If a stranger were to try to make conversation with me in the elevator, I think I'd stab them to death. I really do think I would. It's crazy. Taylor and her partner have private jokes with each other. Their love makes the world outside of it look small, tawdry, and laughable by comparison. And it do be like that. We have lots of inside jokes.
Yep.
Kimberly is a great one for inventing new idioms. For example,
Like I said earlier, I am not good with phrases.
yeah. So, if you've ever said, you know what really grinds my gears, then you will appreciate this one. We were on our way to a film once,
Mm-hmm.
and Kimberly was driving, and I was in the passenger seat, and we were talking about something, and she said, completely serious, as if it was a thing, you know what really eats my panties?
Did I meant it?
And I did not know, because, yeah, and so that's what we say now. It's one of our inside jokes.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, you know what grinds my gears, we say, you know what eats my panties.
Yeah.
And that's a great time for all.
What was the one I said the other day? Oh, the
Milking a
horse?
dry horse.
Yeah. Milk a dry horse. And you were like, that's not a thing.
Yep. Milking a dry horse.
Yep.
It's just a lovely little bit of nonsense there. Fun times. And also just, motherfuckers are so judgmental. They out here. And they so often have no actual idea about the people and things they judge. Just mind your own business, people. I don't want to say who she is because she may listen to this podcast at some point. But I know a person in my life who is extremely judgmental to a point that is outrageous. Like, she will see a random stranger who she doesn't know anything about other than what she can see.
Yeah.
And, she puts them into the box of, that's a bad person, or that's an annoying person, or
Uh-huh.
that's a, you know.
I know many people like that, but I think I know who you're talking about.
Yep. And the world's full of them, man. The world is full of people like that. And who has the time and the energy to just judge people like that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Focus on your own stuff, people. Focus on your own stuff.
If it's the person that I'm thinking about, she does it because she thinks it's funny, and it's not funny.
Right. Yep. It's not. On to the chorus. So don't you worry your pretty little mind. People throw rocks at things that shine. And life makes love look hard. The stakes are high, the water's rough, but this love is ours. When Rob is correct, and that is a good-ass opening couplet. Pretty little mind thinks they shine. To quote another artist that I like, Mr. Childish Gambino, quote, to be beautiful is to be hunted. Fuck the haters. The harder you're winning, the more they want to see you lose. We just gotta keep winning and let them die mad about it.
Wow, that seems like that should be Taylor's motto.
And I think that's what she was talking about in the prologue.
Mm-hmm.
That was the state she has come to in her mind.
Yeah.
Just gonna do her and let the haters hate.
Mm-hmm.
Verse number 2. You never know what people have up their sleeves. Ghosts from your past gonna jump out at me. Lurking in the shadows with their lip gloss smiles. But I don't care, because right now you're mine. And you'll say, don't you worry your pretty little mind, etc. Similar themes in this verse to Cowboy Like Me, which Kimberly hates. Ghosts from your past, similar to skeletons in both our closets. People having things up their sleeves, like tricks, am I right? But it doesn't matter. Love conquers all. Idealistic, a little bit naive way to feel, but it's a nice sentiment all the same. I love the idea of ghosts with lip gloss smiles. Just an interesting little bit of imagery, because we think of ghosts as being scary and, ugly, perhaps, because that helps with the fear. But lip gloss smiles are things that make us pretty. They're frightening because they're pretty. Onto the bridge. And it's not theirs to speculate if it's wrong, and your hands are tough, but they're where mine belong, and I'll fight their doubt and give you faith with this song for you, because I love the gap between your teeth, and I love the riddles that you speak. And any snide remarks from my father about your tattoos will be ignored, because my heart is yours. It's not theirs to speculate, but damn, they gonna do it anyway.
And again, this is such great timing that we're talking about this song
Isn't it,
when
though?
this prologue came out, because that line right there, it's not theirs to speculate if it's wrong. But they're gonna do it anyway.
They gonna do it.
Said.
Motherfuckers gonna do it.
Yep.
Why are his hands stuffed? Is he a blue-collar man? Is that why people say he's not right for Taylor? When will the classism cease? Okay? Seize the means.
Yeah. I hadn't necessarily thought that far into it, but I had always thought that his hands were tough, but they're where hers belong, because he's unlike the other people that she's dated, probably blue collar man.
Yeah. He's out there working with his hands.
Yeah.
He's not like, I don't know, Mr. Harry Styles and his little effeminate lotioned hands.
Never done hard labor once in his life.
Yep. Why do boomers hate tattoos?
I don't know.
I don't either. And I say that as someone who does not have any and will not ever get any, because I'm afraid of needles. But let people like the things they like without making harsh moral judgments about them based on one tiny little thing, like I talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Seems to be a thing people do, and I don't understand it.
I see how tattoos are a form of self-expression. Just like dyeing your hair or getting piercings or doing any of the other things that boomers hate so much. But yeah, I don't understand why we can't let people just live their lives.
Yep.
If I want to get the dumbest looking tattoo I want, it's my body. I'm going to pay for it, and I'm going to get it permanently tattooed on there. And then when you say, what does that tattoo mean? I'm going to be like, I don't know, it's stupid and I like it.
Means fuck you, that's what it means.
Exactly.
You judgmental shit.
It means stop looking at my body.
Well, let's get on to our overall thoughts on the song. Shall we? Kimberly, what do you got?
The chorus is definitely catchy. It's just a fun love song. I mean, the whole song's catchy, but the chorus itself is very catchy.
Right.
Of all the songs she's written about people inserting themselves into her relationships without permission, this one feels the most wholesome and sweet. She's like, fuck everybody else, I don't care, I just love you. I will also say I have been racking my brain, cannot remember who the song was supposedly about, or who she dated that had a gap in their teeth. But I'll figure it out, I'm sure. I think in general, the sound of this song and lyrics is very of the time, which was 2010. Or 2011, I guess, when the extended version came out. But this song just screams 2010, 2011 to me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is one of her more simple, fun love songs in the same category as Superstar, Stay, 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 others we haven't got to yet. Just a girl and her guitar talking about love and sweet melodies and all that. But thankfully, the lyrics hold up better than Stay, Stay, Stay. And it shows just a little more skill, I think, than Superstar, because she was older when she wrote it and more experienced, had more practice writing songs. I think this song is probably the closest Taylor came to writing a folk song until Folklore, of course. Very folksy. So I get that Fleetwood Mac comparison in that way. The chorus is very catchy. I think the themes that Taylor expresses here are still themes she has on her mind, as we learned from the prologue.
Definitely.
And so I think in that way it's very cool to see, at what point she was already thinking about it and how that's evolved over time. So I think that's a cool thing. Yeah, it's a good song. Good song.
Yeah.
Let's get to the ratings. For those who don't know, we rate every song on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is extremely bad, 10 is extremely good, 5 is extremely mid. Kimberly, what do you give ours?
I mentioned at the end of last week's main episode that this song was really high on my rankings of Speak Now back in the day. Back in the day, I was a Speak Now stan. It was my favorite Taylor Swift album. So when Hours and Superman came out on the deluxe edition, I loved them. They were my Superstar, like you said. People who were fearless stans really loved Superstar, and I really loved Hours and Superman. And this song holds up. Unlike Stay, 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 where I loved it when Red came out, and now I'm like, that is problematic, get out, girl, run. This song, I'm like, yep, people suck. Like who you like.
Indeed. Fuck the haters. Do you to thine own self be true.
Did I say I'm giving it an 8? I don't think I did. I'm giving it an 8.
I think you're right. I don't think you said it until then, so I'm glad you were...
Yeah, I started rambling.
Yes. Sometimes we start conversations and we don't know where they'll end up.
That's the fun.
Well, for me, I am going to give it an 8 as well. Because I think it's basically the peak of that category of song that we were talking about. Simple, folksy, girl and guitar song about love. Yeah, it's effective at what it is trying to do. And I like the song, and I like listening to it. So it's solid 8 from me.
Yeah.
If you'd like to tell us how you rate ours, you can vote in the poll, which is going to be in the episode description of this episode on Spotify. And it will also be up on our various social media platforms. We are on X, we are on Instagram, we are on Threads, all at
CBLU_podcast.
Yes, CBLU_podcast. Go there, follow us if you don't already, because Madeline the Pod Gremlin is always putting up fun things, and you'll miss it if you don't follow us. And you can vote there in the poll. Kimberly, do you have anything else you'd like to say before we get out of here? I guess, what song are we talking about next week?
I'm excited about this one. Bringing my boy Ed into the chat. Everything has changed from Red Taylor's version.
That's right, featuring Mr. Ed Sheeran, the first time he has appeared on this pod.
Yeah.
So,
I'm excited.
That'll be fun. Definitely a character in the broader Taylor Swift narrative that we haven't met yet.
The Swift first.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here?
Oh, this episode will come out on Monday, so look out for tomorrow. We will have an extra special Halloween episode.
Yes, Halloween episode tomorrow. And if you missed it, 1989 TV reaction episode should be right before this one. So listen to both of them.
We're saturating you with content this week.
That's right. We are going to be like your daddy, you know? We wake you up in the morning, help you get ready for school. You come home, we'll put you to bed at night. Tuck you in, tell you a bedtime story.
Yep.
So
Madeline's got the bedtime story for Halloween.
that's right. Well, I guess that's it then. Thank you all so much for listening. Follow us on the social media. We will see you tomorrow for the Halloween episode. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Me.
Thank you for listening to Cowboys Like Us. Follow us on Instagram, Threads, and X at CBLU_podcast. Email us directly at cowboyslikeUspodcast@gmail.com. New episodes every Monday on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Y'all come back now, you hear?